Hello! Clip Studio Paint has an update that allows you to import Photoshop brushes into it. Alright, so I'm going to be testing my brushes and see how they do. These brushes have been downloaded over 100,000 times and are available for free in the link below. Just put 0 in the field and press enter. So if you have your brushes here, desktop, those are mine. I already pulled them in just to see if they worked earlier, but all you got to do is take them and drag them, put them right into the subtool area. Over here it won't let you place anything, or here, but over here it'll let you. Then it will import, registering image material, blah, blah, blah. And just like Photoshop, it has all these stroke thumbnails as you would see in Photoshop. Let's make a new file. Let's go 3000 by 2000. Let's just see if they actually work in here. Okay, so far so good. Let's see if opacity works. Yep, there we go. Just as it would in Photoshop. This is the classic round brush that you would use in Photoshop. Let's see. Airbrush. Bada bing, bada boom. It's good. Now this brush is going to be tricky. What it looks like in Photoshop is this brush here. So it has a scatter, but also a texture. What I'm going to look for is that texture and scatter to see if it's in Clip Studio Paint with this same brush. All right, I have it selected. So the one difference so far is it doesn't show a preview of the brush shape the way Photoshop does, but that's fine. Yeah, there it is. Texture is there. It scatters. Let's pick a different color. This image is a smaller size, so it's going to look a little bit more pixelated around here. That's fine. We're just testing the brushes. Okay, and then my next favorite brush that I like to use, make a new layer. In Photoshop, let's see how it looks in Photoshop, is this one. Okay, when I rotate my pen, it rotates the actual direction and angle, so I can cut any which way I want to, depending on how I'm angling the pen. It has nice opacity and texture. Let's see how it looks in Clip Studio Paint. Go with black. Yep. Oh, it looks a little bit sharper. That's kind of cool. Texture's there, the tilt is there. The tilt is one of the most important things, I think. If you don't have a pen stylus that has the tilt function, I highly recommend getting a tablet that does have pen tilt. It makes all the difference. Cool, looks great. The opacity and transparency feels like it's there. It's a little bit of a different pressure curve, but it's not something that you can't get used to, but it's all there. And regarding these brushes, they've pretty much what I've been using professionally in the industry and still to this day for a long time now. And again, the link is in the description for the free brushes. The question is a program like this, Clip Studio Paint, viable instead of only using Photoshop for professional work? Or can this be used for professional work? And I think yes. And I'm mostly leaning on my brushes. They were kind of the thing that kept me from jumping too deep into using Clip Studio, because I'm so just, I guess, used to using these brushes that using the other ones that were specifically for Clip would have taken some getting used to. But yeah, I can pull off some shading there, get some nice highlights in there. How does the blending look? So if I go down here, well, okay, in Photoshop, I have things separately categorized. So I have erasers in one folder, mixer brush in another, and smudge in another. And the final thing. So erasing, obviously, just looks like that. Mixer brush will kind of do some interesting things. Not that one. Let's try this one. It's pretty much blending. It's kind of like smudging, but not quite. And then smudging is pretty much taking this and dragging everything without really releasing the paint, if you will. Whereas mixing with the mixer brush will actually let go and have a fall off. So let's see how that looks in Clip. These four being the erasers. Yep. This one should be an airbrush eraser. Yes. And the one after that, that should be the mixer brush. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. Okay. It treats it like the smudge, which is a little bit different. But I wonder if I let go. Oh, okay. So it's linked to opacity. If for the blending. Let's see how the airbrush one looks and feels. Yep. Mixes nice and well. And then I think the smudge brush is what I just used. Takes it and drags it. A nice little texture. Yep, works just the same. Very cool. Oh man, I could do this forever. It's so mesmerizing. Okay, stop. All right, yeah, it's all there. Let's go ahead and try to make an actual painting with these brushes. All right, here I'm just using that favorite brush of mine to make the sketch. Feels fluid, natural. Nothing too bad about this at all. In fact, I could see myself doing a lot of life drawing studies using this this brush. But that's what I use a lot in Photoshop for life drawing or practicing. There's something kind of nice about not having to worry about, I guess, round brush accuracy, but the looseness of those brushes are kind of like, you know, a bit forgiving, kind of like oil painting. So here I'm just blocking in using the other brush that has the scatter and color dynamics, and I'm so glad that the color dynamics function carried over from Photoshop. Yeah, I'm kind of just jumping between different brushes. Here I am actually using that round brush with opacity, getting that rim light in there. And when I was doing this drawing / painting, I was keeping in mind, like, well, what if I wanted to do an illustration for some kind of magic card or, you know, those kind of like fantasy styled card games, something like that. I've never actually made an illustration for Magic the Gathering, but that's kind of what I had in mind. Obviously, I didn't go all the way with this. This is just kind of like a first pass. As you'll see at the end of it, it's very loose in terms of what's there. But yeah, thinking of like a kind of dark angel with black wings kind of vibe. But yeah, regarding the brushes and using them in clip, it felt pretty natural to me. I think the only thing that I had was still getting used to using the program, like where I would normally, I guess, find certain shortcuts. Since it is a different program, I just have to kind of figure those things out. Like for example, when I want black and white to be the default colors, I could just press D in Photoshop and it will automatically put black and white as a background, the foreground and background colors. It does not do that here. So a quick correction, in the last Clip Studio video I made, I had said that in Photoshop you don't have the option to use your current brush as an eraser. Apparently you can. I just had not used or upgraded the Photoshop until now to actually see that as a new function. So correction on that. What else? Yeah, I mean, the like I mentioned earlier, the pressure curve is a little bit different. So that did take a little bit of getting used to, meaning I have to kind of just get used to a new, I guess, how hard to press to get a certain result. For example, with this airbrush here, or I'm sorry, the round brush. And normally I'm used to like pressing at a specific pressure for it to be a little bit darker. And now it just kind of happens at a different point when I'm pressing down hard. But yeah, nothing too bad. And I know I could probably change that in the Wacom settings or the tablet settings. This is actually the Huon tablet. Let's see. And I do kind of jump between using the transform tools. So I'm glad that that's still, you know, by pressing Control T. I had a hard time trying to find where the lasso tool was because in Photoshop it's like its own category, but here it's under the marquee tool selection, and you have to press, or you have to select the marquee tool, which is like, you know, the box selection thing, and under that there's subtools where you can find the lasso tool. I did not know that, so I had to actually Google it. Let's see. I was definitely using reference here for the hands, but you're not seeing the reference page because the recording program is only focused on clip. That's actually another really cool thing about clip, is that you can set it to be recorded by OBS as its own thing. You can't do that with Photoshop for some reason. So if I want to record something in Photoshop, I have to make sure it's recording the entire screen. Whereas this, I can have all these other things happening, but it's only going to record clip. Really appreciative of that. Yeah, it's really pretty much all I have to say about that regarding the brushes, they all seem to work fine. If you were to get these brushes, they're obviously free, and the program itself, Clip Studio, is really, really cheap compared to what you'd be spending for Photoshop, especially in the long term. Photoshop is, I think, over $20 a month, I believe, and that could just add up. Whereas this, I believe, is just a one-time purchase, and if it's capable of doing all the things that I would need for a professional gig, I don't see why not. For like somebody starting out, or trying to decide between different programs, this is completely valid. It's still going to be a bit difficult breaking away from my home turf, but it's definitely a great alternative. Just a quick note from Clip Studio themselves. I gave them a list of things I'll be talking about regarding tilt function, opacity, and stuff. So for the tilt function, opacity, and transparency, as well as the textured brushes, when you bring them over, if they don't feel the same as what you're used to in Photoshop, you can actually tweak the tilt function, transparency, and the textures in Clip Studio if you find the settings. So if it doesn't work the way you expect it to, just look in the settings area of your brushes in Clip to kind of match it the way you want. All right, well, special thanks again to Clip Studio for reaching out to me to make another video. And I hope this was useful to anyone who's interested in digital painting. And thank you for watching this, and I'll see you next time.